we're celebrating the 45th anniversary of Xanadu, one of my very favorite films. I saw this film when it came into theaters in Panama in the 1980s, and 45 years later, we are celebrating with some hardcore fans and people who really truly love the movie and everything that Olivia Newton-John stood for, her music, her magic, and her films. And we're celebrating this weekend with 3 days worth of anniversary celebrations. And I've never been to a film celebration where it's actually 3 days of an immersive experience.
When time stops and the magic never ends. Xanadu.
So what brought me here today is my lovely daughter, Tiana, got me tickets, surprised me about this event. I've been a big Xanadu fan since I was little. Got them involved when they were little, and she surprised me on my 50th birthday with tickets for today's event. So that's why we brought us here today.
How did you discover Xanadu?
Xanadu, well, it's 45 years ago. I was 5 years old. My mom brought me to the theater. I had a choice between this and I think it was Empire Strikes Back, and I chose Xanadu. So had a crush on Olivia Newton-John like many people throughout history. But yeah, just a lot of memories. It was really neat watching it for the first time. The music was awesome. Became a big ELO fan ever since. And yeah, that's kind of the memories that I had growing up listening to this.
And what impact has the film made on you over the years? I mean, we're talking 45 years now.
Well, the love of music really had impacted me. I didn't realize ELO when I was young, but in growing and listening to not only Xanadu soundtrack, but the ELO in general, kind of gave me the love of that music in the 70s. And then Olivia's voice, that resonates throughout our household even until now. We listen to stuff from Greece, all of her hits. So that's kind of left a lasting impression. I've even went to sharing it with my kids, right? I mean, now they've grown to love it, and even my daughter just said, hey, I gotta get this for dad.
Have they seen it, or are they going to see it for the first time tonight?
I believe Tiana saw it when she was younger. Yours is your first time, right? Yeah. Ever seeing it.
All right.
But he knows the songs.
And what do you guys have there? You've got something there to be signed?
Yeah, so this is another gift from my lovely daughter, Tiana. She found this in a thrift shop. Or like, where did you find it?
Yeah, I was at a flea market. Yeah. I was with my friends, and we were all in high school, and I was like, oh my god, like this record. And the seller himself, he was like, what is that? Like, I've never seen this before. And I was like, oh, you don't need to know. He sold it to me for $5, having no idea that Xanadu is like a really cool classic film. So it was fun just to kind of stumble across it.
So we're here with Bill Morgan, and Bill, welcome to Hollywood at Ovation with Jorge Amir. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing today, or what you're doing with the Xanadu experience.
Yeah, this is the ultimate Xanadu experience, to be clear. We've shortened it for the .com, xanaduexperience.com. But we're here to celebrate 45 years of Xanadu. And we have cast members coming, we have giveaways, we have raffles. We're going to have a panel with the guests from the movie. And we're going to see the movie again, for those who haven't seen it 50 or more times like us. So I am part of the Xanadu crew. I've sort of become the event producer, but I must precede that by saying this has been a group effort. A group of friends and fans of the movie have come together to form what we call the Xanadu crew. There's a much longer version you may hear down the line, but it did start with a party at my house. And we decided to take it public for the 45th anniversary. From the very beginning, I really wanted it to be a 3-day event, and everyone agreed on that. We were going to do something, even if it was roller skating, we were going to do a 3-day event. So I became instrumental in kind of threading everything together. But I must shout out to Eric Zeppela and Lisa, who gave a tremendous concert last night, and all of that was on their own, no direction from me. I was there as a fan in the audience, and I loved it.
We're here with Eric, who did our amazing performance yesterday. Eric, welcome. Tell us a little bit about where did you first see Xanadu, and what inspired you to? Why has this film affected you so much 45 years later?
Well, Olivia's in it. I love all things Olivia Newton-John. Everything she ever did, I was obsessed with. And when Xanadu came out, I'd been given roller skates for my birthday that year. I didn't use them until I saw Xanadu. And then, of course, I ran home, put them on, pretended I was Olivia Newton-John skating around, fell down and sprained my ankle. So that's how much I love her. I was willing to risk my health to try and become Olivia.
So, and you're telling us a little bit about the Barbie dolls.
Mm-hmm.
What inspired you in creating these Barbie dolls?
Well, Mattel always came out with character dolls. They did Cher, they did Cyndi Lauper, and they did do 4 of Olivia's looks in the movie Grease. But during the pandemic, I had nothing to do. I was in a bubble of one. So I thought, let me do some of the other looks. And it turned into a huge project where I've now done about, I think, 70 to 80 of Olivia's looks. And there's more to come. So all the looks from Xanadu I've done, except for maybe one. But that's coming.
Eric, thank you for all of the work you've put into making this happen. This has been quite an immersive experience for fans and people who actually love and adore not only Olivia Newton-John, but also Xanadu. What does it mean to you, August 8th?
Oh my gosh. Well, not only the release of Xanadu, but that is also magically the date that Olivia returned to the heavens and became an angel. She passed on this date in 2022, and that was a big day, and we knew we had to honor that date with that concert, not only about the movie, but her spirit as well.
And we're with Lisa, and Lisa did an amazing performance yesterday. She did a concert with Eric.
That's right.
Lisa, welcome.
Jorge, thanks for having me. Hi, everybody.
Lisa, please tell us a little bit about, well, first of all, let's start from the beginning. Yeah. Where did you see Xanadu?
Okay, well, I saw it about 24 times at the Puente Hills Mall Theater when it came out.
1980.
Yeah, I was just a baby. No, I was a teenager. But this film was magical, Jorge. I mean, it was an escape for me. And of course, the soundtrack. I mean, everything about it. The dancing. And of course, Olivia. Oh, my heart. So good.
So this film, I mean, obviously it has touched you 45 years later. You're putting on a show based on this film with Eric. I mean, this is an immersive experience is what it is, because there's been 3 days worth of anniversary celebration, something that you don't see with other films. Tell us a little bit about that, because you helped plan all of this.
That's right. I'm part of the Xana crew. But we just knew about a year and a half ago that we love this film, and we knew that there was a lot of people, closeted or not, that love this film. And we thought, let's put something together. And we thought, let's do it in someone's backyard. But look at what it's become. It's so magical. And we started with a concert, and that was all Eric's brainchild. That was all teenage Eric's brainchild that we brought to life.
So he came to you and he's like, you know what, let's do this. When he was talking to you, what was going through your head?
Well, first of all, I love Eric, and he's one of the most creative people that I know. And I said, it's crazy. I'm in. I'm in. I couldn't not do it, just because of my love for him, the love we have for this movie, and all the fans out there that we could celebrate together. You were there last night.
I sure was.
Electric, was it not?
It was. It was tantalizing. Oh. It was fantastic. If you love Olivia and the movie, you got both in one show.
That's right. Anyway, we had such a great time putting it together. And then here we are on the second night. We are taking over all of El Segundo here in front of the Old Town Music Hall for this fantastic screening, and lots of surprises in store. So we're just happy to be here. And tomorrow's our picnic. We're just going to be together.
The picnic at the Pan Pacific Park.
Where they shot it, of course.
Were you there? Did you go visit when the auditorium was there? Or?
Well, no, not back then. Of course, okay. I saw it in the movie. You know what I love about this movie? It highlights all of Los Angeles. All the amazing sites that we have here. So we've actually visited all the sites from the movie and archived them, and just are trying to bring them to everybody. Our Facebook page, The Ultimate Xanadu Experience. But for us, it's a labor of love, and we know so many of you out there love this film like we do, and Liv and Michael Beck, who's here tonight.
So please tell us, if somebody wants to become a part of this team, because Xanadu does have a lot of fans, and people love this movie and Olivia, and if you love both, tell us, how can they seek you out? Where can they find your crew? How do you become a part of whatever you guys are doing?
Well, I mean, we all didn't know each other before we met, so we're a very inclusive bunch. We've got our Facebook page, The Ultimate Xanadu Experience, and we encourage everybody to like that page, become a member, and we just share information there. Lots of great factoids, tidbits. We've unearthed pictures that nobody knew existed, but it's just for us to share our love. And a lot of people have stories, Jorge, about their experience. You know, I just met somebody in line said I met Olivia, back in the day, and we talked about Xanadu. It was fantastic.
Everyone, here we're with Bobby. She was a costume designer for the film. She's going to tell us a little bit about her work.
Great, Jane. These are prints of all the original sketches from the movie. And Olivia wore these, and Olivia and her chorus wore these. There's one, and this is two, and that was her chorus. This was three.
These are beautiful.
And
You
this
guys
was
are huge. Four.
the tap dancing scene.
That was a long time
These are the music
They went on stage.
that
They were supposed to film a scene on
with her.
stage, and it didn't quite work out. And so they ended up doing "Don't Walk Away."
And these are so beautiful.
They were.
Look at all this fabric.
Do you have a personal favorite?
You were there, but you didn't actually film when you were
This
there?
is one of my favorites.
Right.
And
And this one's to Michael?
the deco scene. They're all beautiful. They're incredible. And this is the merchandise sketches. We made merchandise. And then there's Michael. Michael was none of his stuff was made to order. Oh, sorry. His stuff was all from stock, so he didn't get too much attention. But Gene Kelly, all Gene Kelly's stuff was made to order. And he was a delight to work with. Michael, thank you so much. So that's about it.
Bobby, what kind of research do you do when you're designing this kind of clothes?
Well, I kind of made this up. You guys are going to
So this is your art.
Yeah,
Come from you.
Yeah, I made it up. In the days, 45 years ago,
I saw it 8 times.
a whole lot of research.
There was no Googling anything.
No, there was nothing like that. So this kind of all came out of my little brain.
So do you go to did you have like a crew of seamstress and people? Who literally, So you design it and then you give it to them for them
I
to
have a
execute.
sketch artist. I have a seamstress. 2 or 3, 4 shops working on the clothes because there was so many of them. So many. So we had so many. This is one of my favorites, definitely. The deco,
no bad guy in it.
the deco scene.
There's no CGI in it. It's just great people.
So we'll move along, but we're going to come around for a photo.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bossy. We're here with the star of Xanadu, Michael Beck. Michael, welcome to Hollywood at Ovation with Jorge Amir. What an honor to have you here. We're actually talking to, yes, the Michael Beck. Michael, first of all, Michael, did you expect 45 years later to be here and now?
Do you mean, did I expect that I would live for 45 more years? I hoped so. No, I'm just teasing. No, I mean, it's the whole thing of anniversaries and reunion thing is, it's always a surprise to me that there's so many people who love some work that you've done and want to gather and see it and celebrate it. So I'm thrilled.
Did you have an idea while you were making this movie that it would become something so special to so many people? What was your thoughts back then?
What were my thoughts about while I was making the movie?
Yeah.
To remember my lines.
Okay.
No, I had no idea that this movie would have the legs that it has and that it would be so loved by so many people for so many years. It's, those things are, when you're making a movie or doing anything, you can't go, oh yeah, this is going to become a cult movie. Of course, nobody's thinking that way.
So tell us a little bit about Hollywood. What was Hollywood like back then when you made this movie in 1980? Was it 79? And
actually, we made it in 79. Opened in
79. And what was Hollywood like back then as opposed to now?
I don't know. I live in San Diego.
Okay, so you're not you're
I
out
haven't
of
lived in Hollywood.
You're not
for,
shooting any more movies. You're kind of
no.
retired now?
I think Michael Caine is the person that this is attributed to. Actors don't retire; they just stop getting called. It's a joke, but nonetheless, there you go. No,
But you've been around.
I've been around a long time.
Yes, and tell us. So, what was it like working with Olivia Newton-John?
You know, anytime people ask me about Olivia, all I can say is that she is exactly who you hope and think that she would be. She was kind, beautiful, obviously, talented, funny, generous. She was the real deal. She was the real deal. Down to earth, sweetheart. She was great. I loved it.
So it's 1980. We're at the premiere, and you actually you just saw this film. What were your thoughts when you saw it? Do you remember?
No, I have no idea.
Did you like it? Do you think, well, this thing has legs?
You know, it was, you know, that movie was, I had no idea what it was going to be like because we were handed reams of revisions almost daily. They were rewriting, then rewriting what was rewritten and rewriting that again. So I had no idea what it was going to be like. You know, I was not going into that confident that it was going to be, you know, and, you know, obviously the initial response to it was not, you know, it bombed at the box office. But like so many things that get legs, people found this probably through VHS first, etc., and it's become a cult movie. It's become a loved movie. I have people that come up to me at Comic-Con type conventions who are now commercial artists or whatever, and they say, I'm doing this because of Xanadu, because I followed my dreams. That's crazy to me. I mean, I never would have expected, but I'm talking about not one or two. I've had a lot of people over the last 20-something years come up and say, I am doing this because of Xanadu.
What would you tell an actor who is up and coming and wants to do what you did, acting?
I would say to anybody that wants to be an actor, you have to do it, because otherwise the rejection, you get rejected 98 times out of 100 auditions. I mean, who knows, but you get rejected more than you get accepted for parts. So you better love doing it, and you better really have a need to do it, because it can be an unkind profession. It can also be, you know, I've always loved doing the work, you know.
So
I love playing parts.
You said this film, you said this film when it first came out, it bombed. At what point did it start to turn around and it started to turn it into a classic?
I think that probably happened in, I couldn't tell you for sure, but probably in the 90s, when there was access through so many, you know, different platforms, through, you know, VHS, you know, video discs, etc. by then. And then they were, you know, having screenings of it as well. So I would say sometime in the mid 90s, you know, I had an inkling, oh, okay. You know, and then when I started doing Comic-Con conventions, there were fans who would come and, you know, and tell me these stories of how they love this movie.
Michael, thank you very much. You have to sign some autographs. So bless you for bringing this movie into our consciousness. It's such a beautiful film. I watched this with my mom. I think I must have cried like a lot, just because the movie was so special to me. With Olivia, I sang all those songs, still sing those songs. I have the LP, all that good stuff. And you're about to enter the celebration of the 45 years of this film. So thank you very much for giving us this film.
Hello, my name is Sterling. I'm with Old Town Music Hall, one of the volunteers here at the theater. The theater is a nonprofit. We're all volunteers. We're keeping the golden age of Hollywood and entertainment alive. A little bit of history about this building. It was built in 1921. Started out as a silent movie theater. Ran for many years. In the 1950s, it had gone out of business. It was a big empty building then. In 1968, the founders of Old Town Music Hall, Bill Kaufman and Bill Field, rescued a 1925 Mighty Wurlitzer theater pipe organ out of the Fox Theater in Long Beach. And this building became available. They installed it here. They turned this back into a movie theater. They wanted to recreate the experience of going to a movie palace of the 1920s. They brought in all the decorations, the seats, the paintings, the great big chandeliers. Just wanted people to experience what it was like to see a movie 100 years ago. We do silent films about, twice a month with live theater organ accompaniment, exactly how they were shown 100 years ago with our 1925 Mighty Wurlitzer theater pipe organ. So if you're ever in the El Segundo area, please look us up. Classic films every Saturday and Sunday.
Next, we'll be hearing from the cast, crew of Xanadu, and invited guests. Miss Patricia Kelly, wife of icon, dancer, and actor Gene Kelly. Muse number 1, Sandal Bergman. And Muse number 8, Terry Beckerman. As well as costume designer Bobby Mannix and Xanadu star Michael Beck. 3 days worth of anniversary celebrations. Now, I've never been to a film celebration where it's actually 3 days of an immersive experience, starting with a concert show that was held on Friday, August the 8th. Now, August the 8th marks a very special day because not only, unfortunately, our muse, Olivia Newton-John, left us, but also Xanadu was released on August 8th. So there's something, synchronicity happening there between our muse that has joined the other Xanadu muses. And Olivia Newton-John, being such a wonderful person that she was, all of us were so excited to celebrate and help people discover and rediscover Xanadu and what Olivia Newton-John represented.
A silent Buster Keaton film, accompanied live by the pipe organ. But it's sold out. But come back for others in the future. All right, it gives me great pleasure now to put on my glasses.
Yes.
Thank you. And introduce our organist, who's going to play this 1925 Mighty Wurlitzer theater pipe organ for you.
Welcome to Xanadu. It's a place, as the 1980 advertising campaign promised, where dreams come true. This magical musical roller skate fantasy was gifted to the world 45 years ago this week. And the world did not appreciate the gift. The critics were harsh. It was actually Esquire magazine that summed up the general critical consensus with its famous one-word review, Xanadu. But today, the tide has turned. Xanadu's naive optimism, its over-the-top glitz, and its undeniable star charisma have made it a beloved fan favorite. I know we have some Xanadu super fans here tonight. I can hear you. And of course, the Xana crew who planned this whole event. And we have even fortunate enough to have some talent in the audience who worked on the original film. But what I want to know is, who here has never seen Xanadu? Well, buckle up for a one-of-a-kind 1980s meets 1940s culture clash experience that you'll never forget. The movie started with the simple idea to cash in on the roller disco craze of the 1970s, the late 1970s. Universal thought they'd throw together a quickie musical and get it out into theaters before the trend was over. So they started writing a script, which they never completed. And lo and behold, pop star Olivia Newton-John signed on to play the lead. Fresh from the smash success, of course, of Grease. And then, classic movie megastar Gene Kelly was going to be in it too. And hot young talent Michael Beck, straight from his surprise 1979 hit The Warriors. And the popular band ELO agreed to provide still felt the pressure to deliver a product quickly, and they still lacked a coherent script. That's where things went wrong. But there was a lot that still went right.
Yes.
Producer Joel Silver had his heart set on making a good old-fashioned Hollywood musical, like the kind that had starred Gene Kelly. In fact, he even screened the 1944 classic CoverGirl for the cast and crew of Xanadu to set the mood. Now, if you haven't seen CoverGirl, it stars Rita Hayworth as a nightclub performer and Gene Kelly as the nightclub owner named Danny McGuire. Just like his character in Xanadu. Coincidentally, Rita Hayworth also starred in the 1947 musical Down to Earth, where she played the muse terpsichore who descends to Earth to help an artist and ends up falling in love with him. Obviously, this movie set the template for Xanadu's plot. But wait, the classic movie connections go even deeper. Rita Hayworth was married to Orson Welles, and he made Citizen Kane a movie that also features a place called Xanadu. Coincidence or conspiracy? Okay, I'm just going to sprinkle a few more fun facts on you about the movie. Oh, and thanks, by the way, to editor-in-chief of 80smovieguide.com, Tara McNamara, for sharing some of these details. She's here tonight. Stand up, Tara. Okay, those of you who already know everything there is to know about Xanadu, just sit quietly and pretend to be impressed. Okay, the rumors are true. First of all, this film did set the trend for leg warmers in the 80s. And it also generated a line of Xanadu-inspired silk dresses by Jack Mulqueen, which were available at Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue. Olivia Newton-John was such a trooper. She fell in rehearsal and cracked her tailbone before they even shot any of the roller skating scenes. So as graceful as she looks gliding around on skates, she was actually in severe pain. The original cut of the film did not include the Olivia Newton-John Gene Kelly duet number, but test audiences demanded such a scene, and so they had to go and shoot it and add it in before they could release the film. Also, you may find yourself wondering, why do Kira and Sunny become animated fish? It's a fair question. Because composer Jeff Lynne of ELO had a clause put into the contract that any song he wrote for the soundtrack must be played in the film. In all the chaos, they wrapped production and then realized they forgot to shoot anything for the song Don't Walk Away. So they hired Don Bluth, who was animating The Secret of Nim at the time, to animate a sequence. And finally, a warning. There's not only more dancing and roller skating in Xanadu than some of you young people have ever seen on the big screen in your lifetimes. There's also an abundance of gyrating and lots of bright graphics that flash out from the screen. So pregnant women, people with pacemakers or vertigo, please take the necessary precautions. Okay, before we go to the place where nobody dared to go, I want to take a second to say, all kidding aside, I'm so happy to be involved in this event. I love Xanadu, and I honestly believe in these days when there's so much hate and violence and hostility in the news, we need now than ever movies like Xanadu. Movies about love, about believing in magic, about not giving up on your dreams, and about the power of art and entertainment, and the power of purple eyeshadow. All things we need more of in the world today. So, all right, I'm going to stop talking now, right after, though, we give away some prizes.
What's a favorite memory? We'll start with Michael.
Well, my favorite memory is not actually something that happened on Xanadu, but it happened because of Xanadu. My wife, now of 45 years, who was my fiance then, she came to visit from New York, and we adopted a little dog. We went to the pound and got Zeke. And so Zeke was with us, and we broke for something from filming, and Carrie and I wanted to go up to San Francisco, so we asked Olivia, who had 50 dogs, if we could board Zeke with her. She said, yes, of course. So we go up to San Francisco, have a good time, and come back to LA and stop at Olivia's ranch, and Zeke wouldn't come home. In fact, I got out of the car and he barked at us. He had a better home at Olivia's than he did. So that's my favorite memory. Zeke didn't stay. Zeke stayed with us for 15 and a half years.
All right, what about for you, Bobby?
Well, my favorite memory is all the shops that worked and contributed to making all the clothes. There was 4 or 5 or 6, well, I'm not used to that. 6 shops that worked on the clothes. There was a country western tailor that worked on part of it. There was Universal's shops. There was so many people worked on this show because the costumes didn't end, as you know. It was pretty amazing. And to feed everybody work all the time is incredible.
Love it. Fantastic. What about you, Terry? What do you remember?
Yeah, I just remember having a ball with rehearsing before the film started, because I got picked. In the olden days, we had Screen Extras Guild, so the original audition was an extra call, and extras that could move. So luckily, I was a dancer, and Kenny and everybody brought me up to the front, and I was demonstrating for everybody that was there. And when they asked me to be involved at the beginning of the movie and help work out the numbers, I couldn't have been more thrilled. So that was fun. All of it was fun, but that stood out to me. And again, after the wrap party in the movie we thought was done, I got a call from Kenny saying, they're gonna add a number. Would you come and work with me and Jean and Olivia on this little soft shoe number we're gonna stick into the movie? And I was like, yeah.
And we saw pictures of you in the poses that Olivia would end up doing in the movie, like move for move.
I did the blocking.
Amazing.
I was, as I told you when we met quite a while ago.
I think that was the 25th anniversary. They drag us out forever.
I first met you at the PBS luncheon and then at the Joe Tremaine's convention.
Oh yeah. So we just keep this stuff going.
I love it. We love it.
We're all related, actually.
All right, Sandal, why don't you pass the mic to Sandal and share a vivid memory that you have?
Okay, I want to say one thing to Patricia. I did Gene's show in Las Vegas. At the
50 Girls 50.
Yes.
Did you see him fall off the stage when he hurt himself?
Yes, I did. And I think I was, I don't know how old at the time. 18, I think 18 years old. But I remember always standing in the wings watching him. He was amazing. So it was interesting to connect with him on this movie again, although we didn't work with him, but it was nice to see him. But one of my favorite memories was how I got the job.
Tell us that story.
Well, it's not really a funny story, but I was doing dancing, Bob Fosse's dancing at the Amundsen Theater. And the two producers, Larry Gordon and Joe Silvers, and Olivia came to the show. And the next day when I got to the theater, there was a note left at the stage manager's office. And it said, we'd like to see you to audition for Xanadu. So that's how the job happened for me.
I love that. Who want to get to know about that?
It's one of those things, being in the right place at the right time.
And being fabulous. Well, yeah. Do yourself a favor. Go home and Google on YouTube, Sandal Bergman moonlighting. There is a number on there that's going to blow your mind. Don't watch it now. Patricia, what do you remember about, what is Gene, when Gene would talk about the movie, what would come up?
See, I come to this a little bit from a different perspective. They have a positive.
Yeah, we want it all.
We're the other perspective. We like that. We like
Gene's
that.
perspective was not so positive. He said to me, he said, there was no script, nobody how to shoot a musical, and he said that no one knew what they were doing. I didn't know why they were hired, speaking of directors and producers. And so he said, I can be brutal about Xanadu. And so I thought, okay, well, this is kind of interesting. And then he started to tell me about it. He said that they had closed the movie, and they went and took it out for the previews, and they got the comments came back. It said, where's the number with Gene Kelly and Olivia Newton-John? They had not shot one. And so you have to remember, Gene was born in the Depression, so wasting time and wasting money were two things that he found absolutely abhorrent.
And that's all we did.
She said, and that's all we did, right?
Thank you. I was a little worried to say what I'm saying now.
But this is a safe space.
Okay, all right. So we're all, but he could not believe that everybody was just wasting time and money. And so when they get to the end of the picture, he didn't want anything more to do with it. And so he gets this phone call from the producers to come back and shoot another number. He would not take the call. And Gene would go very, very far with you, but you cross a certain line, there's no way. And so they call again, and he still wouldn't take the call. Call again, they wouldn't. Finally, Kenny Ortega called. And Gene said, they put you up to this, didn't they? He said, yes, they did. And he said, I'll come back on one condition. It is an absolutely closed set. There are no directors, no producers present, and I'll shoot it with the cinematographer, Victor Kemper, and Olivia, and I will set this up, and that's it, and that's the only way it's gonna happen. So that's what it was. And Victor Kemper told me, he was this incredible cinematographer. He'd done Eyes of Laura Mars and Dog Day Afternoon, and he told me that he came in and he put the camera down on the ground. He thought he'd get some great angles and everything, and Gene came in and looked at him and went, and he said, head on, you only shoot head on and full figure with the dance. So he had to teach Victor how to shoot dance because he'd never shot dance. And if you watch that number, what's sort of hilarious is that I've been now coming out and promoting this movie for all these years when it was Xanadu for Gene. And I feel very fortunate because I've met all these extraordinary people, including Olivia, who was so lovely and kind and adored Gene, and Gene adored her. And so I have been at the 25th and the 35th and the 45th now. But when you watch that number with Gene and Olivia, that's the hardest thing of all of Gene's work for me to watch, because that's Gene as I met him. He looks exactly as I met him. I met him in 1985, and this is obviously 1980. And watch how he gets out of a chair as gracefully as any human being can get out of a chair, and how he walks across that room. And that's Gene crossing our living room. And then he's listening to her, and he says, babe, and that's what he would say to me. And so it's really hard. It's going to be hard for me to sit through this tonight. And he was really angry. When you watch him roller skate, he's roller skating, right? Yeah. He was an exquisite roller skater. He was one of the top hockey players and roller skaters. He used to do performances for amateur nights on roller skates. And he was really angry that they cut his legs in the film, so it looks like somebody else could be dubbing his. And so Gene and I are watching this, and he's growling. So we're watching this. So I have a lot of stuff.
I love this. We could go all night. Speaking of skating, Michael, your skating is incredible. Like, it's graceful, it's masculine, it's so assured. I saw a production on stage recently, and the actor said, I don't skate in the finale because I can't think about anything else except skating. So talk about the skating and how it was for you.
Well, the only skating I had done before doing Xanadu was, when you went to the skating rink in high school, had a couple of beers and you skated. But I was fortunate because I was an athlete through college, so I was relatively coordinated, so I could do that. But as far as the numbers, like suddenly, that really had to do with Jerry's work with us and choreography, and I could stand up and be in the right place, but I give all that credit to him. Yeah.
But you're so present, and it's a performance, and it's graceful, and it's awesome. Was suddenly just days of work? How long did it take?
I can't remember. You're asking hard questions. Yes, 45 years ago. How long did it take? You what?
Bill Butler,
No. That probably took just thinking about how long things took to film on the movie. I would imagine we worked on that at least a couple of weeks. I'm not pre-work filming it. I would think it was at least a couple of weeks.
Wow. They shot Singing in the Rain in a day and a half.
They had Gene saying, if you don't, I'm out of here.
Gene would have been, let's get the hell out of here.
Us young kids didn't care if they wasted money.
Well, I think that was a lot of that going on, actually.